Welcome to Into the Lab, the podcast about all things crypto, brought to you by Lab 49. I'm your host, Martin, and we have such a great show lined up today. I'm joined by the crypto main guy at Lab, Jeremy.
Hey, it's great to be here, Martin. Excited. This is our
And
inaugural podcast.
yeah, and also really excited about this one. We have got the co-host of By the Fire, Mukti.
Yes, hello everybody. Martin, thank you very much for having me. Jeremy, it's a privilege to be here, guys. Really excited about everything we're going to be getting into.
Yeah, so we have got such a great show lined up today. We are going to be talking about Bitcoin 2022. We're going to be talking about the Metaverse, NFTs, crypto DeFi, and really good one this. It's going to be Lab 49 and crypto. So first up, we're going to be talking about Bitcoin 2022 Miami. Yes, from the 6th of April to the 9th of April, Miami is going to host the biggest Bitcoin conference in history. Yes, we get to meet in person again. We get to talk, none of the Zoom rubbish. We get to speak in the real deal like the good old times. So Lab's going to be at Bitcoin 2022. Can't wait to see everyone. So obviously come in and meet us, and we'll talk a little bit more about that later. There are going to be some great speakers actually at this conference. It's huge. There's 30,000 people attending. So Jeremy, who's your speaker that you're looking forward to, or even at something at the event that you're looking
I'm
forward
not
to?
so much it's not even the speakers. I'm just looking forward to I'm going to be able to meet tons of people who I've been chatting virtually with for the last couple months, to actually see them in person, to interact with them, and actually be in an event where we actually just get to interact like people. So it's going to be cool to see people who I've actually never met in person. So that's what I'm looking forward to the most.
Oh, wicked. And Mukti, I know you're going to be attending the event. Is there anything in particular that's going to be a highlight for you that you're looking forward to?
Yep, I'll absolutely be there. I really didn't intend on going just a month or so back, but I heard you were going to be there, Martin, doing your thing, and I checked out the website then. I saw who was speaking, and Jordan Peterson was a keynote speaker. I absolutely love Jordan Peterson, big fan of his. He was he seems to be the main event of the speakers because his section of the website, or his image on the website, was much larger than everyone else.
Yeah.
But there's a whole fleet of speakers that I'm very excited to see. So I'll be going, as well as my brother. We'll be flying down together on the 6th, I believe, day the event starts. And yeah, we're really looking forward to it. It will be my first time at a crypto conference like this. So
Yes, and what a one to go to. Yeah, we've got a Michael Saylor as well, MicroStrategy. Got quite a few, even my favorite sports star, Odell Beckham Jr., he's going to be there. But we've got Kathy Wood, Jack Mallers, Elizabeth Stark.
I'm looking forward to hear Kathy Wood. I'm curious to see what he has to say these days.
Yeah, she's awesome.
And not just that, this must be the first crypto conference ever to have a political world leader, President Bukele of El Salvador. Obviously, El Salvador legal tender of Bitcoin. So yeah, it's going to be absolutely crazy. So
the conference has the El Salvador theme, with the massive volcano as the main attraction in the very center. Everything flows through the volcano.
That's right, because they're launching their crypto bonds really soon as well. So yeah, no, this is something really looking forward to. Lab is going to be there. So obviously, if you want to get in contact with us, just send us an email or get in touch at crypto@lab49.com. And also, we're doing something. Lab's doing a little bit something special. Jeremy, yeah, tell us about the crypto coins that we're going to be having.
Yeah, so we've actually managed to produce a bunch of physical coins that are going to have a QR code. And if you scan the QR code, you can get directly in touch with us, and you can apply for a job. You can ask for consulting services. And people who reach out to us through this will be put in a special pipeline that will be able to get fast tracked through employment, and actually get really good rates on projects that we will do. So it's actually kind of a special deal if you have one of these coins.
That's great. And then there's a special Latin word at the bottom of the coin as well that people are going to be asking about.
Yes, it's that nothing comes from nothing is the term. The actual Latin phrase just escaped me at this moment. Maybe you remember it?
No, but we'll get it up at the end of the show. So we'll talk it through then at the end of the show when we do the summing up of that. But yeah, no, it's
basically the idea. It's philosophical like origins doesn't exactly track with how I think of it. But when I think of it, it's basically the notion that crypto coins through the consensus method, whether it's proof of work, proof of stake, there is actual real work that has to go into the minting or just production of the coin. So it's not just people just basically creating these coins out of nothing or thin air. There is some type of process behind it that actually gives the coin value and worth. So that's kind of why I like that phrase or that like notion that nothing comes from nothing, in so much as there is some degree of like production or effort that's put into the production and minting of most coins.
Oh, that's great. That's great. Well, look, everyone who is in crypto is gonna be there. It's not gonna be the biggest, and everyone, just because like COVID stopped and everyone's gonna get there, it's gonna be mega. There's parties, it's just going crazy. So yeah, reach out and yeah, we're gonna be there. So obviously say hi to us. Okay, the next topic we're going to be talking about is the metaverse, and in particular Vulcans. Yes, we're going to talk about the metaverse, which is gaining a lot of attention all of a sudden. JP Morgan, the US bank, has launched a lounge in the blockchain-based Decentraland. It really believes in the metaverse. So much so, it mentions in the report, the metaverse will likely infiltrate every sector in some way in the coming years, with the market opportunity estimated at over $1 trillion in yearly revenue. As a result, we see companies of all shapes and sizes entering the metaverse in different ways, including household names like Walmart, Nike, Gap, Verizon, Hulu, PwC, Adidas, Atari, and others. So really, they're betting the house on the metaverse. So Jeremy, what's your view on the metaverse?
So I would just want to add to the list of companies that are looking into it. So we kind of can break it down between the more like blockchain based ones, and what a lot of people, when they think of metaverse, they think of like Ready Player One, where the idea, like the term was actually coined. They think of a full VR world, and I think a big thing that's going to drive a lot of people into that space and away from the more desktop like 2D worlds that we're seeing in Decentraland and Sandbox today is when Apple launches their VR headset. I think that's going to basically take the VR and AR concept from like a fringe small group, and it's going to basically make it to the people who buy every Apple product that comes out. People who never owned a tablet until they came out with the iPad. People who didn't think a smartwatch was something they needed. Like, why would they want to get notifications on their wrist? Then once the watch came out, they're like, oh, I've got to have it. And you see it everywhere. So just like they pushed the activity tracker market, tablet market, I think they're going to do the same thing in the metaverse VR market. And I think that's going to be a real like sea change as you then see other companies come in and start developing an ecosystem. Then you'll see more people start building headsets. It's going to be a virtuous cycle. That's the main thing I would, yeah. What do you, yeah.
Well, we are so lucky today to have one of the best metaverse projects, probably in my mind, but I think everyone would agree. He co-hosts the podcast By the Fire. Mukti, do you want to give a little introduction?
Yes. So, yep. My name is Mukti. First of all, very happy to be on here, Martin, and able to talk about. So we're going to be talking about Vulcan Forged here, which I am just a community member. I've been a long-time investor of the project. I do a podcast every Saturday that just updates the community on all the latest news and announcements that takes place there. But yeah, like in regards to the metaverse, so one thing I'm most interested in is, because of course with Facebook and Apple getting involved, those are heavy hitting companies with a lot of money at their disposal, and they're going to have some really incredible products coming out in the coming years that I do believe is going to heavily increase the adoption of these kind of virtual environments and metaverse spaces. But the one thing that I think is very important that I'm to look at, that I'm most concerned with, is these blockchain metaverses that are able to reward their users with interacting and playing the games within the ecosystems. So the project I'm heavily involved with is called Vulcan Forged. So you have your main sort of projects in the metaverse space right now, I would say, are Decentraland and Sandbox, which offer awesome metaversal experiences for their users, where you can have a digital avatar, kind of live a second life and interact with friends and other people online in these spaces. But now with projects like what Vulcan Forge is building, you can actually play a variety of games, earn crypto tokens, join guilds to get access to higher tier assets, which increases your earning potential. There's just a lot of really cool stuff going on. So they have their flagship game is called VulcanVerse. Is their main metaverse is a blockchain MMORPG, massive multiplayer online role-playing game. In addition to that, they have a CCG, a collectible card game similar to Hearthstone and Magic the Gathering, an auto battler called Forge Arena, and even Vulcan Poker and Vulcan Chess are all games that they have in their ecosystem. All of these either earning you XP points for the ecosystem or their play-to-earn token lava. So it's just very cool, thing that's becoming very popular today now is these ecosystems where you can play the games to earn tokens, and Vulcan Forged is really leading the charge in a lot of ways.
It sounds incredible. I played it and I'm active in it, and it's an incredible thing. We have a little teaser of what the ecosystem looks like coming up.
Yep. So this is a VulcanVerse trailer here from the VulcanVerse website.
The old myths are dying. The gods fade from the world as mankind turns to their machines, their magic-killing science, their virtual worlds filled with new gods and monsters. They do not need them anymore, and they are forgotten. The old myths are dying. We sleep. We dream. We fade into
Jeremy,
eternity.
just feel free to ask a question.
But he, Vulcan,
just one.
the god they once entreated to gift them their machines, their science, their god-forged weapons, will not go quietly. No. He will embrace their new myths, their invisible worlds, their gods who speak in code of webs and nets and chains. He will forge a world that will be greater than the mundane ambitions of us mere mortals. He will use your science to create a virtual world born of a god. A world beyond the fickle, ephemeral dreams of mankind. He, Vulcan, will create a new Olympus.
There it was. So yeah, that was just a really awesome trailer to showcase some of the hype of the things that is going on within VulcanVerse that Vulcan Forge is building. Really high quality stuff there. They have a great production team that makes content.
It really looks it. So
That was amazing.
I really want to talk about NFTs because I think people get very confused what NFTs are. I think a lot of people get confused or just think an NFT is a picture, a JPEG, and they don't actually know or understand the real utility NFTs can give. Vulcan are one of the biggest NFT markets by volume and size. So why are they doing so well? What's the advantages, or what's so good about NFTs?
Yeah, so I'll say just off the bat for anyone who may not know is NFT stands for non-fungible token, which basically all that means is it is a unique structure of code that separates it from any other existing token out there. So a fungible token, for example, like Bitcoin is a fungible token. A US dollar is considered fungible, meaning any one is exactly the same as any other. You can interchange one for another. There's no difference. Whereas non-fungible tokens have this aspect of uniqueness to it. And so while yes, if you're looking on a marketplace or browsing NFTs online, they do look like just JPEGs on a screen. But where the value comes in with NFTs is the code and the metadata that lives inside of these images. So if you were on the Vulcan Forge marketplace, for example, you'll see plots of land that are posted on there that looks just like a little square that's on a land map. As you can see on the screen here, that is the game map of VulcanVerse divided into 4 quadrants there. And you can own various plots of land in each of these quadrants. So you own these plots of land in the form of an NFT, in the form of a non-fungible token. And while you view it in your wallet, it just looks like a JPEG, an image on a screen. But what owning this plot of land NFT allows you to do is to get inside of Vulcanverse, to join in this metaverse, customize your plot completely to your liking, and play the games to earn the play-to-earn token lava. In addition to that, as a landowner, you can rent your land or Vulcanite NFT, which is another series of NFTs in the Vulcan ecosystem. Vulcanites are your in-game pet creatures. You can rent these out to other Sedalians, users to play with, to then passively earn by letting them play with your assets. They earn the token, and then it gets split amongst you and them. So there's a lot more utility here than just a picture on a screen, of course. Also, by owning a plot of land in Vulcanverse, you qualify for their staking rewards pool. So you are passively generating their PYR token just by owning plots of land, as long as it is level 2 and above, which you can do through playing the games, getting XP, and then leveling up your account.
Wow. So with the plots of land, I basically can start earning money from an NFT because I got a specific plot, and people can rent it off me. And
correct. Yep. So you just by owning the plot, you qualify to be in the staking rewards pool. So you don't have to do anything. Well, you have to get your account to level 2 at least, which is just depending on how long you're playing each day, it can take anywhere from 5 days to a couple weeks. Usually it's really not too much so, but once your account is level 2 and above, you qualify for the staking reward pool. So you are just passively generating PYR just by owning that plot of land. You can also rent it out to other players to use, and then through playing the games, they are generating the lava play to earn token, which you are then passively receiving half of. You can actually set the split you'd like, whether you want your Sedalian to keep all the lava or have a 50-50 profit split, which is the more common option used by landowners. So just by owning this NFT, there's a lot of value that comes your way.
So I can see like a whole economy happening within a specific game where you're renting out and earning money from that. That's incredible. If I wanted to get rid of sell my plot of land, is that a simple thing to do? Is that hard? Is that possible?
Oh, it's very easy. It's as easy as uploading a picture to a social media website, really. So there's a little bit of layers of security involved, like two-factor authentication in the Vulcan marketplace, of course, because some of these NFTs are very high value. But yeah, so Vulcan Forge has their own marketplace, the Vulcan marketplace. It is market.vulcanforge.com is how you can access that there. But yeah, so when you own an NFT asset, it shows up in your MyForge wallet. You can then go to the post auction page, post an auction. You can set the minimum bid in PYR, which is their native crypto token. You can set the minimum bid. You can set the time frame of the auction, how long you want it to run, and then what the buy
just like
now
eBay,
price
basically.
Is. Very similar to eBay. Same exact concept. You just have to enter a two-factor authentication code just for that added layer of security, essentially. But it's a very easy to use and interactive marketplace. One of the best ones out there that I've seen.
And once I sell, go on, Jeremy. Sorry.
Oh, yeah. So how much, like, when you talk about renting, how much does it cost to get started? Or like, if I just want to try it out, how would I go about doing that? Do I have to like agree to like a 6-month lease, or like, can I just try it? Like, tell me about how the rental works.
Yep. So it's completely free to play, and
cool.
So both parties are incentivized, because as a landowner, if I, let's say, have multiple plots of land, you can really only log in and be using one at a time. So it's not like you can be using 3 or 4 plots of land logged in at the same time. It's like you really only need one to get that login access. So what you can do then is you can rent those plots of land out to other players free of charge on their part. So let's say I'm someone who just wanted to try Vulcanverse for the first time, like you may, Jeremy. You can just go to the Sedalian program. You can find a plot. It'll be completely free for you to rent, and the landowner sets the time frame. So whether it's 24-hour rental, a 1-week rental, a 1-month rental, the landowner sets that. So it's up to them.
Rent is paid in the share agreement.
Exactly.
You don't have to actually pay to do it. You're not paying up front.
Exactly. There's no upfront cost. So basically you'll rent the plots from someone else. The tokens that you then earn through your gameplay, you'll be splitting with the person you're renting from.
Gotcha.
Is the idea of how that works.
That's very cool. So no upfront cost.
That is correct. Yep. There's no upfront costs. And there was There was one other thing that I wanted to mention that kind of just slipped my mind there, but yeah, it is. I guess the most important thing when we're on the section of how NFTs are not a JPEG is just kind of this behind the scenes utility of where yes, because a lot of the mainstream population of society still kind of views NFTs as just being JPEGs on a screen. It's like that. There's not really that grasp of understanding of this underlying utility that exists for high quality projects out there. Not to say there isn't some low quality projects out there that don't really offer much in terms of utility. It's kind of the Wild West in terms of this space, but some of the higher tier quality projects, there's a lot of benefit and a lot of use cases for owning various NFTs. Vulcanverse Land just being one example.
So basically, anyone can go in, play from wherever in the world they can, and start earning money by renting the plots out.
Yep, that is correct. Yep. So literally anyone. I mean, now, so one thing is, you do need a decent-ish PC. So Vulcanverse is not mobile yet. There are mobile games in the ecosystem, such as Berserk, and there's Vulcan's Tower Defense is coming soon. Vulcan's Vulcan Runner is kind of a similar to like a temple run type game. That's going to be part of their Frenzy Pass system, which is a whole nother play to earn system that they have launching soon. So some of these games are mobile. Vulcanverse itself, though, you do need a PC. So that's kind of the only barrier, the one barrier, and it has to be decent enough to be able to run the game without, being super laggy or crashing, etc. But yes, like it's free to play for anyone who has the means to and has a PC suitable to be able to get in and play.
That is great. So I think the next topic we're going to be talking about is DeFi in the metaverse. And again, Vulcan has its own DEX, which is a decentralized exchange where you can exchange tokens on there. But they've got a few really amazing things which really sets them apart from anyone else. So we're going to discuss that. Yeah, so we're going to talk about DeFi, which is decentralized finance, and also mainly in particular DEXs. A DEX is a decentralized exchange, which means you're not going to a company. It's actually, you go to a pool of money and then you can do a swap. So you can swap token A for token B. For instance, you can swap one Ethereum for like 1,000 BAT, and you're not doing it with a company. You're just coming from a pool of tokens in there. So what's really good about that is Vulcan have got their own DEX, and they're aiming to be the top gaming DEX, and they've got some really cool special stuff. And I think the best person, Mukti, please explain why it's so special.
Oh yes, so yeah, we are here on VulcanDex. As you can see, this is vulcandex.vulcanforge.com, and yeah, so it functions very similar to any major decentralized exchange out there, like Uniswap, QuickSwap, where you can convert any one token offered on the DEX for any other on the DEX. So one of the main use cases here for VulcanDex is to convert the play to earn token Lava into any other. So you can see here, if I wanted to swap some Lava into some Matic, I just input the amount, and vice versa. If I had some Matic I wanted to swap into Lava, you can input that in there like so, and it spits back out to you how much of this coin will get you this, how much of token A will get you token B. Essentially, you can swap right from here. Now, one really cool thing about VulcanDex that sort of separates it from a lot of other decentralized exchanges out there is this concept of NFT farms. So one of the biggest aspects of the Vulcan ecosystem is NFTs. It's an NFT gaming platform. And so one way you can earn these NFTs, other than by various contests and competitions and tournaments and things like that, or forging them in game, etc. But one of the main ways you can earn them is through these NFT farms. So they also are one of the first, if not the only, decentralized exchanges that offers tiered NFT farms. So one example here is this was a PYR Lava pool where you could lock up a certain amount of PYR and Lava LP tokens, and depending on the longer you staked your coins, the higher the reward you ended up getting for. So if you did a 1 month stake, you received this tier 3 Trapjaw Berserk card, which is a card in their CCG, NFT owned. If you staked for 2 months, you received, 2 months, you would receive a tier 2 plot of Troy land. So Troy is an extension metaverse of Vulcanverse that is currently under development. That's going to be basically another realm inside of the metaverse that you can access through VulcanVerse. So you'll be able to get a plot of land there if you stake for 2 months. Then if you stake for 3 months, you receive an Aphrodite God NFT, which the Titans and Olympians are some of the most valued and highly sought after NFTs in the entire ecosystem. And you can actually earn them through providing liquidity and interacting with the DEX is just one really cool aspect of what's being built here on VulcanDex that separates it in a large degree from a lot of other decentralized exchanges out there.
So you basically, just in case anyone's not familiar with what liquidity providing is, you basically are holding 2 tokens and you're just locking them away like a bond, and then you get them back after, like, was it 2 months?
Yep. So it depends on the pool. They have varying staking terms. Usually the higher tier rewards are a longer staking period. So it depends. Yeah, it differs for each pool.
And with that God, I'm locking up my tokens for not a huge amount of time, and I'm getting a God. And how much is that worth?
So I'd say the floor on gods right now is probably around 550 to 600 PYR, which at the time of recording this video, PYR is around $10 a coin, so like 5,000 to 6,000 US dollars, if not a little bit more. So it's a very nice reward just for, and one thing that is important to note about these farms is they are capped. So it's always a first come first serve basis. So for example, only 21 participants could get into the Aphrodite tier, and 21 same for the Troy land. So it is kind of a lot of the times there's only so many NFTs they can put up for these pools, so it's oftentimes a rush to get in.
But that's an incredible return for locking that up for such a short period of time.
It is.
That's great.
In addition to the fees you get as just being a liquidity provider.
Oh, okay, as well. Yeah. So you get the fees on top of that as well. So you're earning money from all the buys and sells in the pool.
Yep. And there is that factor of impermanent loss, which is always something to consider with providing liquidity. Not something we'll get into now, but yeah, it's nice to just have that known reward where you lock up your tokens for this amount of time, you will receive this NFT.
That is great. Thank you very much for that easy to understand explanation. So up next, we're going to be talking about Lab 49 and its involvement in crypto. So for our final segment, Jeremy, let us know what Lab 49 is all about, just for people who are unfamiliar with it, and its involvement in crypto.
For sure, I'd love to. So Lab 49 was actually founded in around 2002, and they were basically looking to bring Silicon Valley thinking to Wall Street. That's really design thinking. That's understanding the user, better UIs. Because I don't know if you guys have ever looked into the back end of a trading application that's used at a hedge fund or an investment bank, but they were extremely bad. They really didn't think about the user. They didn't think about efficiency. They were just simply, what's the basic way to do this? And these people are traders. We just make them work hard. We don't really care about their workflow. They didn't really appreciate how the fact that a not well designed UI actually creates difficulties for people to do their job and actually execute their trades and make more money. So there was a shift that went around in early 2000s that really picked up around 2010. And Lab 49 was one of the real companies that actually brought that design-centered thinking to a lot of the Wall Street firms and government agencies. And we've actually worked with some of the biggest tier 1 investment banks and brokerages in the world. So that's kind of a little bit about us. We're now actually pivoting from helping these banks and these institutions with their digital transformations into now moving to the next phase, which we think is tokenization of just assets and straight up blockchains. So, and coins and tokens. So what I mean by that is there's two kind of separate things that's going on. There's one kind of the modernization of just the over-the-counter trades and all the swaps that they do that are create literally hundreds of thousands of transactions that have to be manually sorted between multiple back offices, middle offices, and front offices that can be handled almost entirely by a smart contract. That's kind of tokenizing existing securities, stocks, flows, and swaps. The other thing is just a lot of these investment banks or wealth management firms have clients who want to trade crypto or do DeFi, even for their own traders. So they're having to build those tools and those things for them. So that's kind of where they come to us to help them execute those two things. And we're rapidly expanding our practice. So what makes us ideal for this is the fact that we kind of view ourselves as financially native, that's because of like not just like our like experts and product management team understands markets. It's our UI UX people, our designers, even our developers have background in trading and have worked at multiple Wall Street institutions or the Federal Reserve or other like places where they're literally at the heart of trading. So when they come to us, everyone can grasp the like what the problem is you're trying to solve. What's interesting is that lets us actually separate the signal from the noise. What I mean by that is you hear a lot of things when you work with clients kind of about like what they're trying to do, what they want to do, what product there is. But if you don't have people who actually understand what it is you're building and the goals you're trying to get to, it kind of gets lost in translation. So by having these like financial native people, it really helps people get to their goals faster. Does that kind of make sense?
Oh yeah, yeah. So it's basically just you being able to rely on people who really know what they're doing to help you out in the space to the full
No,
extent.
exactly.
Yeah.
So it's a lot of times you find that people have an idea, but they don't actually know how they want to do it. So if they just go to a general consulting firm or try to hire designers in-house without that base knowledge, they'll basically translate exactly what they say, but they won't get the nuance of like what actually a trader is looking for or what someone is trying to do in a market that might require you to do 3 or 4 things while actually managing open position or managing risk or managing like an open trade book, or understanding your risk versus liquidity and when a margin call comes in. So just those small different things might affect the UI design and the backend design. So that kind of leads us to like our next thing that like really sets us apart, which is our engineering and design. We actually have like top flight engineering staff. We've actually designed some of the backend architecture that powers some of the largest crypto exchanges in the world today. So we've actually built those from the ground up when they look to modernize their stack to actually grow recently. We provided them the guidance to basically understand what's the best way to set up their system. And we provided them the resources to actually build out significant parts of it. We combine that with like kind of a separate offering, which is straight up design and understanding the market segment. We have a full team of both UI designers and user experience experts who are geared towards helping understand the user who's actually going through the actual task. Rather than just thinking about what looks the best, we really engage in, task analysis. We create personas, we do market research, we do testing. We go through the full process of actually treating the actual user, even if in the back or the middle office, like they're an actual like consumer. So we try to do the same type of things that a lot of Silicon Valley companies do for the consumer segment. We try to give that same care and attention to detail for people in the industrial financial space or institutional financial space. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's like a full end-to-end process as well, so it's not just one part.
Well, and especially,
Exactly.
I mean, everyone wants to build on blockchain now, and there's quite a learning curve, especially for companies who are just getting started for the first time. So, I mean, I see this being an extremely high value service, like the whole.
Correct. So yeah, we're actually one of the few companies that has over 10 years of blockchain experience. So we've been doing projects in this space for quite some time. So we've got the experience, and then we also have the design. Now, when you think about it, those two things aren't that unique. There are other firms that have people who've worked in finance and who can call themselves financial natives who are good at separating signal from noise. You also have a lot of places that have done work in blockchain or who have good designers. However, there's very few that marry all three of those things together. And that's kind of where we see our competitive edge and what sets us apart. And it's what allows us not only build faster, but when we build something, we help you take it to market and do the go-to-market planning. We actually will then measure its response, gather feedback from its launch, and help the companies we work with, develop their second and third releases. Our understanding of the market, once again, helps us separate the signal from the noise and really helps them lay the groundwork for long-term success. The other thing that we do is not just institutional players. We actually work with startups, and we help them with their white papers. We help them get funding. We're in talks with 2 startups right now to actually help them with their white papers, and they'll bootstrap the initial payments to us, and we'll work with them. And then we'll actually help them on their pitch deck. We'll help them on their market presentation. We'll help them on like understanding what exactly they're targeting, and we'll help them with the fundraising. What I mean by helping them with the fundraising is we'll help them with the deck. we'll help position them, and we'll make sure the white paper actually makes sense. So from there, we'll hopefully be able to take them from an idea to a fully funded startup. So that's something else that we're really excited about growing out. That's completely separate from working with, these companies that have like, billions and or trillions of dollars in total assets under management.
Wow. Yeah, that's a very brief but thorough explanation of that. If companies want to deal with it, what's the best way to get in touch?
So yeah, I mean, we can put up a slide that has our email on it. It's crypto@lab49.com would probably be the best way for them just to email us. We're also going to be at the Bitcoin conference in April 6th in Miami. And you can come talk to me or talk to Martin. We're going to be going around and, as we mentioned, handing out coins that, if you have, you can use to, unlock some pretty cool benefits.
That's great. Thank you so much. I think this is the end now of the Into the Lab podcast. I've got to thank both Jeremy and Mukti for both of their inputs. It's been a really interesting Metaverse and Lab 49 special. Thank you very much for listening, and we'll be back sometime soon.
Yes. Cheers, everybody.
Bye.